Hi. Um, I guess what's kind of inspiring me to do this video today is a conversation I had with somebody about a week ago, approximately, and they had told me that I changed and that over the past several years. And I'm like, yeah, I did. But they said it was more like like in a negative way. Like I became more like less empathetic and less compassionate and more like just antipathy for people who I perceive to be different from me, whether it be like they don't speak English or they're unhoused or something of that nature. And so I want to start out by saying I am a misanthrope, and the definition of that is somebody who just doesn't like people very much. Um, I guess on one end of the scale, you could have somebody who just literally wants humans to go extinct. Then on the other end of the scale, just somebody who's just annoyed with people, and I fall somewhere in between there. But I mean, for me, it does not have anything to do with race, skin color, ethnicity, country of origin, what language they speak, sexual orientation, gender or identity, whether whether housed or unhoused. It's more just like based on intelligence. And I want to make it clear I'm not like hating on somebody who's mentally challenged or something like that. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying just like average everyday people who have no common sense. And so I work in retail. I'm exposed to this every day, and that's probably why I changed somewhat. Before when I worked in a factory, I mean, I saw it like the differences in people's common sense meter, I guess. But when you're working in retail, it's like extremely obvious. You can't ignore it. I mean, if you want to pretend it's not there, you can, but it's not something that I don't see. So anyhow, so I've always wanted to tried to be a compassionate person or have some empathy. Um, but I think probably one thing that kind of maybe messed my thought process up was like when I was in my 20s, I read like books by Ayn Rand, who actually wrote a book called The Virtue of Selfishness. And basically, it was just based on like social Darwinism and um, removing all the rules and everything to just let the strong survive and the weak die off. And I guess maybe the immature version of me kind of that appealed to me, and it doesn't now. And I remember back in late 90s, when I was first kind of just exploring Satanism as a philosophy. I can remember reading, like, back in the days before the internet, there was a lot of underground zines, which basically do-it-yourself publications people would put out and sell through the mail, mostly, and it was like just express whatever opinion you want. And a lot of that was extremely misanthropic, extremely. Some of it was racist, but not all of it. But I mean, a lot of it was just like very like almost fascistic, fasc, fascist, fascistic. Is that a word? Um, you know, and it it like the idea of just being a misanthrope just is just who I am as a person. But I do try to cultivate like empathy and compassion for people. I mean, there's a lot of good people in the world that need, maybe a little extra helping hand or something. And I don't want to tie this all into the recent election, but I do think we are witnessing a coarsening of society. We're witnessing like an age or period at least, where people are just, you know, have antipathy for people who aren't like them. I mean, and it's going to come down hard on like immigrants and religious minorities, gender minorities, the LGBTQ plus people in general, I guess. Um, Poor people. I mean, I think now more than ever we need to cultivate a sense of empathy and compassion. It's just like being anti-racist doesn't mean that you weren't racist when you were younger. Maybe you were raised around that, and it just was part of who you were. But as you get older, you realize, hey, this is not the way to be, and you make a conscious effort to root it out of yourself personally, and then you call it out if you see other people being racist. Um, so that's kind of something there, and it's kind of like falls in the same category, I guess, as with the compassion and empathy. I think you need to unlearn. At least I need to unlearn some of the thought patterns from when I was younger. I'm going to make a conscious effort to do it. As always, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time, whenever that is. Bye.